How do you know when it's time to move on from a relationship? And this means a friendship, intimate partnership, any kind of relationship, maybe a relationship with your neighbor, or yes, even your blood sister or brother or parents. How do you know when it's time to actually step back and make some space, or some even say goodbye forever? Some you just need to maybe create some space there. How do you know when it's time? This is a hard subject in life, isn't it? Because it's painful. Relationships, I believe relationships are the most painful experiences that we have as humans, but they also are the most rewarding. So that's what we're going to get into in today's segment. I had an experience that I've never shared publicly because honestly, it was really hard for me. And I didn't want this person to hear how I felt, honestly, because I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to share this. But today I'm going to, because I think that it's something I know that it's something that a lot of people deal with. And I learned a lot from my experience. So today I'm going to share it with you. I got my cute little lighthouse mug here for my Love Lighthouse podcast segment. So let's get into this. Okay. I had a dear friend of mine that we'd been friends since we were kids. And I adored her. I adored this woman. We were such great friends. And she was there for me during my divorce. It was a really hard time in my life. I was a total mess. And we'd been friends since, we were really young, 15 years old. And I relied on her a lot. We actually relied on each other. We talked almost every day for a while in our life, like just depending on different chapters of our life. And I thought we would be friends forever. There was no doubt in my mind that we would be friends for the rest of our lives. And then as time went on, I started to shift. She started to shift. Things in our lives were changing as we got older and we got married and had children. And eventually there started to be combustion there in our relationship. And there were some things on her end that she did that hurt my feelings. I know there were a lot of things, I'm sure, that I did wrong, or I guess you could say wrong in the sense of looking at it from the perspective of maybe this was all actually meant to happen, so that's why I do the air quotes as I say wrong, because many times we have these experiences with people and we are just looking at it from such an earthly perspective, and we think that it was not supposed to happen that way. And then later you look at it and you go, oh my gosh, wow, out of that, I had a lot of lessons and growth. And so was it really wrong? Anyways, I know there were a lot of things that I did that I'm sure hurt her. But what happened was, there was an incident that happened. I won't get into the whole thing, but basically something happened that really bothered me. And I always feel like in life, when you have a relationship, there are several different buckets of people, right? Some people, it's just like, you know what, it's not worth the energy. Like, I'm just going to say goodbye to them and I'm just going to move on with my life. And I'm not going to try to like fix it or try to understand each other. I'm just going to stop calling them or stop answering when they call. Like, it's time to move on, right? There's those people. But then there's people in your life that they are like your people, and they matter a lot to you. And she was one of those people in my life. And she still matters to me. I love her. I always want I hope that she's doing well in her life. But at this time when this combustion happened with us, and my feelings were, I was just really bothered by something that happened. I reached out to her and I asked her if we could meet face to face on FaceTime. And I wanted to have a heart-to-heart conversation with her, and I wanted to talk to her about it. And so we did. We had a conversation, and after the conversation, I didn't feel better. I actually felt worse. This is a really big indicator that it's time to move on in a relationship. If something happens with someone you love, and again, if it's someone that it's like, okay, come on, just time to move on. If they really mean a lot to you, if they're a key person in your life, and you're like, well, this really matters to me, so I'm going to reach out to them and try to have us have a genuine heart-to-heart open conversation and clear the air and really try to heal our relationship or whatever's been going on with us. And you reach out to them and you try to communicate, and it makes it worse. It's a good indicator that it's actually supposed to happen. You're supposed to move on. Not because they're bad or you're bad, but because you both need that energetic break to go and live your lives and learn your own lessons, and it's time for a new chapter. Now, I couldn't put words to this at the time, but we met and we talked, and afterwards it was like, well, we didn't get anywhere. It didn't feel good. And then, every time we talked after that, it was just, things were just off. They were really off. And eventually we stopped talking altogether, and it's now been years since I've talked to her. And afterwards, there was a real understanding that came in for me that this was a profound thing that was to happen in both of our lives for us to progress and grow in our own lives. And this has happened with actually several people in my life as things have changed. I used to be a certain way, and a lot of people knew me as that, and that's how things, were. I needed people in my life. In fact, well, I didn't need them, but I thought I did, right? I was a very needy person. I was super insecure. I had a lot of drama in my life. So I think I was a train wreck, and people found that interesting. But I'm not talking about this particular friend. I'm saying other people in my life as well. Like, I used to be a certain way, and that's what people were used to. And then as I started to change and heal, then I was no longer that person. And that saying that people use, and they say it in the sense of meaning a bad thing. I'm going to say this, and I hope this resonates with you deeply. And if it does, then this means that you are on a path of progression. Side note, like and subscribe this video, please. Share it and post a little comment if you feel me on this thing I'm about to say to you, because it really, really helps with the algorithms. But this saying that people use that is supposed to be meant as an insult, but it's not. It's actually the best compliment that you can get. And that is, wow, you've changed. You've changed. And it's supposed to be a bad thing that people say that. But I want you, when someone says that, you can either think it to yourself or you can say it out loud. I want you to say this: "You damn right I have." If that is your response, then that means you are changing and you are shifting and you are growing. And that is what we should be doing. We should be changing. If you are staying the same, in fact, there's people that have had the same friends and the same people that they've been hanging out with for years and years and years, and you see them, they're doing the same old thing, right? That's not fun to me. That's not what I want to do. I also have dear friendships that I've had in my life for since I was a child, and I plan on having them forever. But when it's time to move on from certain relationships, and who knows, maybe you'll circle back with certain people in your life. That could always happen. People can also shift and change and be on their own journey. And then it's time for you to come back together because you've both been able to have your own growth and then come back together. You never know what's going to happen in life. But it was with this specific friend, it was a very painful experience for me, yet it was a major gift. And I hope it was a gift to her too, because I hope that she also was able to see things how that we depended on each other a lot, and that because of that energetic break, we were able to really grow and stand in our own power and learn a lot of things about ourselves that we did that were not good. I definitely see things that I did that could have been a lot better, and that I looked within and went, whoa, okay, I can see where maybe I wasn't being the best friend in this way. And I don't know if she did that. I don't know if she just blames me for all of it and she possibly hates me. I'm not sure. I hope not. I hope that she was able to see her own things as well and learn as well. But I don't know. I'm not sure. And at the end of the day, when we that is the one thing that I want you to remember out of this. If there's something that you keep feeling that is shifting and changing with someone in your life, and you feel like you're just not vibing anymore, I want you to think, okay, first of all, does this person matter? Are they worth the energy for me? Are they a big key person in my life? And if the answer is no, then let it go and move on. It could totally be that you're giving a lot of energy to someone that you're like, yeah, they're not really a big key person in my life anyway. So why am I giving it all of this energy or being upset about this? Just let it go and move on. But if the answer is yes, this person is a key person in my life, they matter a lot to me, and I want to see if we can fix it and heal it because they matter to me, like this friend that I have been telling you about, then reach out to them and be honest and open and try to have that genuine conversation. And if it makes it worse, because I've also talked to a lot of other people in my coaching practice where I've witnessed this happen with them, because I've said, well, go talk to them and clear the air, or, like tell them how you honestly feel, but also listen to them on how they feel. Because you got to do both, right? It's not just about how you feel. You got to be strong enough to listen, just like my segment on can you handle the truth? You got to listen to what they have to say and look within and course correct on that as well. But if your communication makes it worse and you keep going like this and butting heads as you try to communicate and heal it, it means it's time to move on. It means it's time for you to have your own journeys. And then maybe circle back later and maybe not. I know it's a tough subject, relationships. There's so much growth that comes within them, but yeah, think about that. Who in your life is there that you can relate? Can you relate to this? Has this happened to you before? Maybe it's happening to you now, or maybe it will in the future, but there will come a time in your life. It's actually amazing if you're an adult and this has never happened to you, but there will come a time where there's somebody that's really important in your life, and you have both energetically shifted, and you're not aligning anymore. Your energy is not aligning in whatever way. And you try to fix it, and it actually makes it worse. So don't have guilt about it. Don't feel awful about it. Definitely look within, take the lessons, see where you maybe did not show up in that relationship the way that you want to in the future. Take those lessons, let it go, and allow that person to have their own journey and you have your own, and move on. Okay. If you haven't checked out my Awaken group, I'd love to have you in the group. It's a coaching group where we meet every single week live. You can be on the call live, or on you can listen to the replay, and the show notes are in the link will be in the show notes. It's called Awaken. So check that out, and I will see you next week. Much love to you all. Bye for now.